talk about this because it seems like this has been completely swept under the rug, right? I saw Angry Joe was talking about Palworld the past week, and not because Nintendo finally filed their lawsuit against them, right? Palworld was being talked about in the news cycle because some game journal picked up the fact that the CEO was considering going free to play or making it a live service game. And of course, people like Angry Joe came out of the woodwork and started like simping for them and damage controlling for them. Oh, they're never going to do that. They decided against that because they're too based. Palworld is the greatest developer ever, right? Like Pocket Pair is the greatest developer ever. Like the typical thing you always see, like in regards to Palworld, is just this incessant simping for this bootleg Pokemon developer, right? They would never go to bat for Nintendo or for Game Freak or for the Pokemon Company, but they'll worship like a bunch of plagiarizing hacks, right? This is what we get when it comes to Palworld discussion. Lots of simping for Pocket Pair, but outright demonization of Nintendo. So you have the situation, right, where some game journal realizes that like Palworld isn't making money, Pocket Pair is not bringing in any income. Like they're talking about like ways they can like incentivize people to give them more money, right? Because nobody plays Palworld, nobody cares about it. So their thinking was that like they should start incorporating microtransactions. And this isn't a new thing. People have been talking about this forever. But with Palworld, it seems like they have to do it. They had to seriously consider this because there was absolutely no way for them to fund further development of the game, right? Because it's not getting any new players. It's completely fallen off the map. Nobody cares about it. Nobody remembers about it. And now they have a lawsuit to contend with, right? So Nintendo has now that Nintendo has filed their lawsuit against Palworld, like their resources are going to be stretched even further. And now they even admitted to this in their like response post. They're going to have trouble getting the game worked on, right? Because they're going to be like battling this major Japanese corporation, right? They are not going to be able to get the game out of early access, right? This is the major thing with Palworld right now, and like the main argument people should have in regards to like the idea that it's a huge success or that it's better than Pokemon. It's literally not even finished, right? This is the thing people don't understand about Palworld is that like it was just an early access release that people latched onto because of the memes, like, oh, Pokemon with guns, but like as an actual product, it's insanely lackluster. Something that anybody who's being genuine with themselves would acknowledge, like within an hour of play, right? But the shills don't admit that, right? The shills want to pretend that like it's better than Pokemon in every way, shape, and form, but the reality is quite a bit different, right? The reality is that Palworld is a complete and abject failure that will not be able to sustain itself because Pocket Pair is under lawsuit, right? They are going to have their major breakout success story filed against them, and their major success story can't be monetized, right? The instant they make the game free to play or throw microtransactions into it, like people are going to realize they're a bunch of cucks, right? They're a bunch of hacks, right? Because, Nintendo doesn't use microtransactions for anything. Again, this is a real problem that developers are going to have competing with Nintendo going forward, is that like they simply just don't have in-game microtransactions, and that makes them infinitely more desirable than every single one of their competitors. Whether it's like the Oculus Rift or like the Facebook, the Meta headset, like the PC gaming, like PlayStation 5 and Xbox, like Game Pass. Like, no, Nintendo doesn't have microtransactions. So Palworld is like extremely limited in what they can do right now because they have to always present themselves as if they're the good guy. So like every time this story comes out, they do things like, oh, we thought about going free to play and having microtransactions, but we didn't do it for you, the players, because we love you so much. We don't care about money. We just want to make good games. It's so disgusting how manipulative they are. And I talked about this before, and I think we are going to see this like more as the lawsuit progresses. But Palworld has always been this company that manipulates their audience, right? They tricked them into thinking it was Palworld was bigger than Pokemon. They tricked them into thinking the game was good, that it was innovative, that it didn't plagiarize Pokemon, right? And now they're doing this weird thing where they're trying to like present themselves as if like they're representing all indie devs standing up to Nintendo, right? As if Nintendo makes a habit of going after indie developers for no reason, right? Again, people do this thing like, oh, Nintendo is jealous of Palworld's success. Like, why don't they go after their other competitors then? Like, why didn't they go after Foam Stars? Foam Stars is not a straight up plagiarized product, right? It does have like things that are different than Splatoon. That's actually a really good example, actually. Like when you look at Foam Stars, it's obviously like a Splatoon knockoff, right? It's the exact same thing, but it's not plagiarized to the extent that Palworld is, right? Foam Stars has more credibility than Palworld does. Like, do you know how like embarrassing that is to be negatively compared to Foam Stars, one of the big failures of the year, right? Right up there with like Exoprimal and just like it is embarrassing to see the lengths that people are going to try and deny what's happening here. Pocket Pair is 100% going to take a massive L. They can't afford to stand up to Nintendo. They're never again going to have a breakout hit. Their fans aren't even coming out for them. That's a big thing now. Like, you can see how many people are coming out for them, and it's not a lot of people. Like, you can see, like, the viewer counts. You can see the YouTubers, right? Like, Asmongold is shilling for them, like, Clownfish TV. Like, other than, like, Mutahar, like, you have a handful of hardcore, just, like, Palworld simps doing it for the YouTube views, but, like, these people were doing the same thing for Yuzu, right? Like, they were shilling for Yuzu in the exact same way. Like, Yuzu did nothing wrong. We can emulate everything Nintendo puts out on PC. And what happens? Like, Yuzu gets immediately shut down. That is what we're seeing here, right? We are seeing YouTubers try and manipulate people into thinking that Palworld did nothing wrong, when that is clearly, very obviously, not the case.